Hello, everyone. My name is Jude, and welcome to the Mackerel Snappers Podcast. This is the first episode, so I guess I'll give a little background on what this podcast is. The three of us are all young Catholics who are finding our way in the world, but one thing we're all passionate about is introducing the faith to people and helping people who are already Catholic, but who could use some extra help. So we are here to answer many of the world's deepest questions from a younger, more Catholic perspective. And in doing so, trying to deepen your relationship with God as well as our own. So I'll pass off to my co-host, Bryson. You start.
Hello, I'm Bricin, also a Catholic, also a Zoomer, funny guy, not that funny, a little funny.
Pretty
Um,
funny.
it maybe like a 5.5 out of 10. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about Catholic issues. We're gonna be talking about Zoomer Catholic issues. Gonna be talking about absolute nonsense, whatever crosses our mind on the way. And I hope this helps some people some way, somehow. How about you, Vinny?
And I'm the pet. I'm the certified Brazilian. My name is Vinicius. You can call me Vini.
Anything else?
No, not
No, that's
yet.
it. His entire Brazil
I am.
mentioned. It's it.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's all.
He's
yeah, yeah.
he's our
I'm the
diversity
pet.
hire, so we're not all Americans.
The diversity higher. No. I'm the pet, man.
You're human to us, okay?
Yes.
Anyways,
I'm a human pet.
No. What?
I'm, I'm,
Why?
pr- I'm
How did that happen?
It
pretty
didn't.
sure that's illegal somewhere.
Jokes aside, I am the international point of view of this podcast,
The
essentially.
international correspondent.
Yeah, you're
Yes.
boots on the ground in somewhere that isn't upstate New York.
Exactly.
Essentially, I am boots on the ground on a majority Catholic country, so I can give a more nuanced view on a country where, culturally speaking, it was founded by Catholics.
All right. Very cool. Anyways, now that you know the three of us, we should probably start getting into some fun. So the topic for today is Zoomer Catholics, their problems, their hopes, their dreams, and since we are all Zoomer Catholics, I think we should have a fairly good view on that, and just sparking up some conversation. So one thing I would like to bring up that I think all of us want to talk about to start is the loneliness epidemic between all Zoomers, but especially Catholics in this situation, but just in general, the loneliness pandemic that I would say mainly the internet has caused, and some of the solutions to that. As a fellow Zoomer, I found it's kind of hard sometimes and isolating to be constantly plugged in, and it takes a lot of strength to unplug yourself because when you're on the place like the internet where everything seems like it's true, eventually nothing becomes true, and even your friendships seem blurred by superficiality and hedonism, and it just really breaks your spirit. But it's a really difficult issue for all Zoomers, and I would say some good advice that I can give is I've gone on a few religious retreats, and one of the best parts is just not worrying about your phone. After 2 hours, you forget it even exists. So I would say try to unplug, obviously, but you got to fill that with something else. You got to fill your time, and when it comes to filling your time, don't just fill it with sleeping or sitting around doing nothing. Fill it with ways to bring yourself closer to God. Crack open your Bible, read some C.S. Lewis or something. Reading is always good. Go for a walk, spend time with family. All of these things help bring you closer to God. So I think that's really important. An important part of our lives is cutting out the social media, not all the way, because it's important to be slightly plugged in and know what's going on in the world. But it's so much more important to cultivate a relationship with God. And if screens are causing you to stumble with your relationship, then they should be cut off.
Yeah.
I I guess that was really really interesting to listen to. Go ahead, Rice.
Yeah, Jesus said this in the gospel. He said, if your uh, hot hand causes you to stumble, cut out 15 hours 34 minutes screen time. This this is known.
True. I was there. I was the phone.
Yeah.
Like,
It-
I guess, like, since we are the first generation that grew up with essentially connected with the internet, many people, I feel like, in our generation make the internet their whole personality. I feel like that makes it really hard to actually go ahead and connect to the person in a personal level, because essentially the people become, I don't know if you guys will agree with me, but they become sort of a satire of themselves.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's so easy to lie on the internet. You see so many people like morning routines, waking up at 4:30 a.m. and like starting the day with a 2.5 hour long ice bath. Like some people can do that, but I can guarantee most of the people on the internet are not getting through that. So it makes you
Yeah.
feel almost diminished that you're not on this superhuman level that uh, really only some of the greatest people in the world could achieve, and so you feel very knocked down. And it's good to strive for things like that, but it's okay that that's not where you are, and the Lord knows that that's not where we are. So that's why He reaches out to meet us wherever we're at.
I may be crazy, but I think if you take an ice bath for 2 hours, you die. You
Yeah, you
you have
do.
to fact check me on that, but I
That's the
think
point of hyperbole, Bryson.
I don't
Have
think
you no literary value, Bryson?
I have literal value.
Okay.
He's autistic. He takes everything literally, Jude.
Anyhow, no, so this is something I've wanted to crack for a while though, because it's not immediately intuitively obvious why the internet would cause a loneliness pandemic, right? Loneliness
Hmm.
epidemic, I suppose. A pandemic would be an actual infectious disease instead of mental skill issues. But the point being that it's like theoretically we're more connected than ever. We have all of our friends on speed dial. We have so many more friends, quote unquote. It's not immediately obvious as to why that is, but I have a theory. I was thinking about it for a while. Um, I think it's because the internet destroys a shared reality. So when you create a social media profile, you almost create your own little reality bubble and you feed into it and build your own way to experience reality. Um, you create your own little microclimate and you superficially interact with other people, but ultimately you never substantially change each other's underlying reality. So this makes it very difficult for any sort of deep, meaningful interaction that every human being craves for, because you're lacking that shared reality. If you are operating in a space where you are living in your own little world, your own little microclimate, your own bubble, the bubbles bumping up against each other doesn't really do much in terms of the sort of human connection we want.
It's like vacuum, right? They don't really interact, and when they do, they often go to war, sort of. I think there is a name for that. That's called an echo chamber. You you can
Yes.
see, yeah, you can see that a lot on Reddit, for example, or like Twitter in the worst cases. And I think that feeds into the idea that I said, that like social media as a whole, and having grown up connected like this, people kind of turned into the satire of themselves, because they, instead of sharing that real space with one another and actually living real life and forming meaningful connections, they've become, essentially, their personalities actually became the same concepts that they so desperately got attached to. Know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
it just you go, Bryce.
Okay. No, as like we have to acknowledge, I think, as well as Zoomer Catholics, that you can get people who kind of adopt the aesthetics of the faith and try to make their personality around sort of superficially being Catholic without actually taking the concrete steps and taking and finding the community to make that a real thing impacting the world, to make that a thing deeply part of reality.
And
Because
one thing that's really alarming that I've seen recently is blatant disregarding of scriptural and church law, especially when it comes to sexuals. Because I have many friends, Catholic, not fallen away, devoted, all over the spectrum. But like even with those who are Catholic, they think that all that matters is helping your neighbor, and that is what matters. But the law above all is loving God. You can love God through loving your neighbor. But people just don't seem to orient themselves in that way anymore. They orient themselves in a way that's towards social justice and social justice alone. Don't get me wrong, social justice is an amazing thing, but it's not the only thing. It's not the most important thing. The most important thing is cultivating a relationship with God, and the social justice will come out of that. But anyways, I mentioned sexual sin earlier. Like I have a few friends who are like, pretty by all around good Catholics. They go to mass every Sunday, pray the rosary regularly, and yet they're talking about like hanging out with people who they've never met before and like hooking up and stuff like that. And I'm like, are you okay? Like, what's happening here? Where's the confusion? They're like, oh, I don't think it matters that much. The Bible's outdated. Huh? Outdated? It's the Word of God. Sorry, I'm getting kind of sidetracked here.
I
But
think that goes
that's
back
okay.
also, Jude, to what Saint James said in the Bible itself, right? That like faith without works is dead. So you basically get to know a person, like a person's true faith, by essentially the quality of their works. And that's why faith alone doesn't work, but this is not the subject of this podcast episode right now.
we'll get into the
We're gonna get
Protestants
into that.
later. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Well,
we're coming for you.
yeah, just no. Let it be known that we cannot have no Catholic podcast can exist on the internet without dunking on Protestants. There will be a day of reckoning.
Don't
Oh,
trouble your pretty
oh,
little head,
oh, oh, and
dears.
don't
Well,
worry, we are also coming for you, Orthodox.
Yes,
oh, okay. The Orthodox, I have less problems with than the Protestants, but like,
Of
well,
course,
we're all
comparatively, of
brothers and
course,
sisters
we
in
have
Christ,
less
and that's great.
problem
But
with the
you're kind of wrong.
Orthodox than the Protestant.
I'm coming
Except,
for you. But coming back to the thing is like, yeah, you can see that someone's faith is dead when they actually do disregard the actual faith by not believing it. So in their heart, there is no God. There is no word. They're just doing it because for really the sake of it. And they claim, "Oh, I believe, therefore it's all right," which is absolutely ludicrous. That's not how it works. And honestly, I've seen, like, even in my very Catholic Brazil, and other Brazilians will also confirm that, I've seen a lot of Catholics defending the use of contraception. Catholics, devout Catholics even. And I always remind them that's a sin. And some of them seem to not even know that it is a sin.
Yeah, it's all part of the sexual revolution. Which again, don't worry, we will be dunking later.
yeah, as Saint James says, faith with gooning is dead.
We're not. We're 15 minutes in, and Bryson's already manipulating the words of Scripture.
actually, actually, Bryson, I think you were looking for St. Paul's when he said that the sexually immoral will not inherit the
Will not
kingdom of
inherit the
heaven.
kingdom. So true.
Yes,
Yeah.
so true. But if you are a gooner, it's not too late for you. Just
True.
go to confession, fix yourself up, and start engaging in spiritual warfare.
And just to be absolutely fair, gooning and pornography in our age is an addiction. It's way more serious than just, hey, let's stop right here. It's an actual problem. It's as bad as like using crack, for example, or
Yeah,
heroin or
it's almost
fentanyl.
worse because it's so accessible because you don't need to buy
Yeah,
anything.
and it is legal.
Yeah.
Also, it's legal. Yes. I mean, I'm not exactly. I would love to make it illegal. I'm not sure how you would enforce it though.
Honestly, it should be illegal. It
You,
should.
you, universal chastity belts for everyone as soon as you hit puberty.
All right, all right, all right, all right. Stop right there.
Government monitored chastity belts. Also, the government in question is the Vatican. Direct rule from Rome.
Okay. I mean, we don't exactly have the political power that we used to, so I'm not sure how that's going to get enforced. But
Well, you know those old 1880s American anti-immigrant cartoons that would show like the Pope as an octopus grabbing at America? That's real.
yeah,
That's us.
each one of us is a tentacle.
In a serious note, if you are right now struggling with porn addiction and lust, keep in mind you're not alone, and find someone in a group that will support you, and go find your nearest mental health professional, because pornography in itself, it cannot coexist in a healthy way with your mind. It does destroy your mind as much as any drugs. And please, for the love of God, reach out to your parish or a priest and ask for guidance. You're
Yep.
not a monster. You need help.
Yeah, we're all terrible, dirty sinners. But let me recommend a few saints for this. Number one, the Blessed Mother. She's great for anything. Just like say, Mary, help me, and she'll help you eventually. But another two that I would like to plug is Saint Michael, because spiritual warfare and everything. It's gonna be a battle. It's gonna be you versus it. You're not gonna beat it alone. So fortunately, that's why we have all the angels and saints and Jesus himself to come help us.
Mhm.
So please pray to Saint Michael for your defense in battle, and then also shameless plug to my namesake Saint Jude, saint of hopeless causes, because you get in a state of hopelessness when that happens, and that is when the enemy is won. Is when you have no hope. So never let yourself lose hope. Always say things will get better.
And it does circle around to loneliness, because lust usually happens because of loneliness, right? Not only amongst men, but amongst women too. So, one of the most common traps of lust is when a person is lonely, when they have not only a weak link to their community and to God, but when they don't have a wife or a husband, or they don't have a relationship. And even in a relationship, lust can happen, but that's a different context. But usually, lust happens due to to loneliness and a weak link to God, in addiction too. And to be absolutely fair, in our day and age, we are bombarded way more with sexual content than any other uh, any other generation that has come before us, and this is absolutely unprecedented in the history of mankind. Really, like the average medieval peasant wouldn't even think that we would have a bunch of ads running sexual things around every day, each day, every morning.
Yeah. Yeah, just like you could imagine that if somebody tried to put up like one of the modern billboards today in a medieval village, they'd probably get broken on the wheel. So
Yeah, yeah,
Honestly, not even that. Medieval peasants weren't dumb and they weren't ignorant, right? They would
yeah.
probably know because of the tech, right? But they would probably not like the fact that it would be too stimulating.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, it's a pretty salient point that like, hey, if you are struggling with this, it is something where not as an excuse, but we do have to acknowledge that no other generation in history has been as tempted as we are on a daily basis. It's such a pervasive thing in every element of our culture and society, and it's so easily accessible. It's like this just hasn't been, this historically just hasn't been the case. What were you going to do? You had back in the day, you had brothels, and you had your brain. That was about all. And sure, that could get you to hell, just you know
As much as pornography nowadays, right? But
Yeah.
well, if you put your mind to it. But that's the thing. Now you don't. Now if you're not super active in the fight against it, if you're not fighting, you're going down, because the current, you're swimming against the current. And it's just worth acknowledging that is
Yes.
what's happening.
Well, one final point I'll say on this before we move to something else, because the Gooning episode will come later. But one final thing that I will say is that I just want to echo what Bryson said. You're swimming against the current. So if anyone tells you it's okay, it's natural, like they're trying to cover you, obviously, like just say okay, 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 but don't give into it, even though it is such a deep part of our nature. Plenty of bad things are part of our nature, like greed, uh, pride, um, envy, sloth. Really all the deadly sins are an inherent part of human nature that we have to fight against. So it may be natural, but we're not called to be natural. We're called to be more. So keep that in mind, and don't let the people who say that you should just give up or oh, it's part of human nature get to you. Anyways,
So true.
thank you for the lovely
Yeah.
talk
Actually,
on
Jude,
Cody.
I know you said you wanted to wrap this up, but I do have just one quick practical tip.
Yes, I was actually just
For
about to get into
Well,
practical
first of all,
tips.
Saint Benedict, my goat, Crux sacra sit mihi lux, non draco sit mihi dux. Someone can complain about my Latin. But also, just move things around in your room and change up your schedule a little bit if it's like a habitual thing, where if you're doing it at the same time and in the same situations every day, just be home at different times doing different things in slightly different environments. That can help a lot.
Indeed, indeed. Okay. The next thing that I would like to get into with the culture in general, but especially Catholics, is the the constant battle in the church between hyper traditionalism and like only social justice. And I think that's a major problem that we get, because we have some Catholics who are usually on the far right, who are like, we have to go to Latin Mass every single week, going to hell, the Novus Ordo means nothing, and everyone who isn't Catholic should be cast into the abyss. But then you also got the people on the far left who are like we were saying before, oh yeah, nothing besides social justice matters, and we have to accept everyone no matter what. And I think a problem that we're having nowadays is that you can see the sharp divide between these two parishes. And one thing that the church as a whole has to do is to find that golden mean between reaching out to people whilst also keeping the beautiful church traditions. And I think Francis did a great job of reaching out to people, but I also think that now, especially in the U.S., people are yearning for the more traditional sense. So I think we need to find a solution by bringing back these good and traditional things, whilst also keeping our hands everywhere and constantly offering people help when they want to either come into the church or if they just need a hand up.
It's very easy to let your faith be divine, what am I saying, defined by by picking a group, and then you just do everything that the rest of the group does, and whether that be like you're a rad trad Discord server with 50 people, or like some secular political movement. It can be any number of things. But if you pick a group and then find your faith in tandem with just whatever the group is doing, that's kind of a disingenuous way of doing it, and it creates these sorts of tribal camps very very quickly. And of course, a big part of what we're talking about here is that it's very important to pursue your faith with other people and to be out in community and to be engaged in this sort of thing. But it you have to ask yourself, I think the question you have to ask yourself is like, whenever you're taking this or that step with your faith or anything in particular, is, am I doing this to fit in better with the group that I'm currently a part of or am trying to be a part of? Basically, am I LARPing? If you're LARPing, then you should find a better reason to do something than to be LARPing. Uh, if you're not
If you're
LARPing, then you're not LARPing.
LARPing, if you're LARPing about being part of a religion instead of actually dedicating your time, then what the hell are you doing, man? Like,
Yeah,
grab a
like
hold of yourself.
grab a hold of yourself. It's very important to realize that we are, again, all terrible, awful, disgusting sinners, and that doesn't make you better than anyone else just because you think you're trying to, just because you think you're getting closer to God when you're actually being deceived into pride. Because religious pride is an extreme problem, and that's one of the most common criticisms that atheists will make about religion. Is, oh, get off your high horse. Why are you so prideful about this?
Honestly, it's a problem in the church too. I've seen a lot of people in the Catholic Church being like extremely prideful when it comes to their own faith, and that's sad because they have that whole schmuck act of I am holier than thou, and they really don't act Christ-like at all.
This is very true. I'd also like to draw attention to the fact that I'm pretty sure Vinny said schmuck before I did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bryson, your catchphrase is literally schmuck. How can you let
I
this
don't
happen?
know if it's I don't know if my catchphrase is schmuck. I just use it a lot
Is
because ever since I
It
put
is.
it to my mind to stop swearing, it's the only thing I can call people that has any weight at all.
I admit I am a sailor though.
You schmuck.
Damn, I
You
can't argue with that.
schmuck.
Mhm.
You
Yeah, though it is something where you will find. I think for most people, though, there is some element. You'd be hard pressed to find people who are purely LARPers. I think there are some. You will find some, but most people uh, are on some level trying to genuinely pursue better faith, trying to get closer to God. But I think they'll people take cues from the social group that they want to be a part of and signal to them. They'll take that more into account than they ought to. So you'll kind of find this with um, I think either side can do some sort of purity spiraling thing, but just picking a relatively extreme position and probably iffy with the actual position of the church, but you pick that position in part because you know that it'll increase your clout among your group. I said it before, but it's just check yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Check yourself to make sure you're not doing it out of a sort of pride, out of too much importance on the opinions of others. You want to be pursuing your faith in a genuine way and in a way that God actually wants to take you.
It's about a relationship. It's not about impressing others. The only person you should care about is God, and fortunately, I can say that God loves you. He's not going to turn you away. So just keep that in mind and orient yourself in a loving manner, and not one that unnecessarily tears people down. There is a time to fight, and there is a time to argue, and those are all good things to do. But you can't live your life in that state of mind, that kind of
Yeah, don't be
dark
like me
state.
or Saint Paul, Saint Peter. Don't be fiery at all.
And a little fire is necessary sometimes, but eventually a fire is going to burn out. So you gotta have other things besides just the fire.
You gotta be gentle most of the time, but keep a sword if you need to. Only use that if you really need to.
Guys, I don't have a cloak to sell to buy a sword. What am I supposed to do?
Your pants.
Oh
Sell your
no!
pants.
So you're fit. Where are you gonna keep the sword then? On his underwear?
No, on his back, like a good witcher.
Uh,
So
Hmm.
like underpants, and a sword on the back.
Yeah.
Right.
this sounds like a Soulsborne tryhard.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he does.
Yeah, that's when I found a new religious order. That'll be the habit.
I
What will it be
I
called? The
don't think
Bricinites?
Like
it's
something
not.
like that. I don't think I could do that though. That would be immodest.
Okay,
I
actually, wait. I have a question for everyone. If you founded a religious order, what would its charism be?
I don't know,
Um,
man.
I I think we should I think we should beat the Pentecostals at their own game and just like speak in tongues, but actually.
Okay, so Bryson's has tongue speaking. Vinny, how about you?
But like
Uh,
actual tongue speaking, not like the fake Pentecostal tongue speaking that's gibberish. I mean, just like genuinely ask God to speak in angel.
Okay.
I'm a very scholarly type, so I guess we would be keepers of history.
Okay, yeah. Mine would definitely be storytelling because I love me a good story. I would just produce like 50 C.S. Lewis's and J.R.R. Tolkien's per ordination. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, the Catholic Poet Society.
I,
Like
dude,
society.
my order would be essentially the adeptus administratum of the church.
No, you got to join my order. No, you shouldn't join the Dominicans. You have to join my order, where
Everybody, leave in the comments whose order you want to join: the Brysonites, the Vinites, or the Jedites.
my only claim to fame is gonna be like there's gonna be one. It'll be like one saint who actually was able to properly do the tongue speaking thing, because I genuinely don't think like when the Bible talks about at Pentecost speaking in tongues. Um, I imagine that did not sound like gibberish. That probably sounded like a non-human, very very interesting language. That's just my guess, though.
Dude, I have a theory, but I actually want to make a whole episode later about that, about languages, because I'm a language nerd. Maybe invite Louis here. Uh, I think that like the angel languages may sound like something close to either Arabic or Hebrew.
I'm just gonna sit in the corner quietly because I know very little about language.
I
What
mean,
do you?
you
No,
speak
Jude. You have
English.
to. You're getting. I'm taking. Okay, Jude. You're getting pulled out of the corner. You're getting put in the spotlight. What language do you think angel sounds like the most?
Mix of Latin and Aramaic.
That doesn't make any sense, Jude. There's
Why
no
Exactly,
Latin
way.
but it would be cool, wouldn't it?
But why Latin though?
Because Latin's cool.
Because it's the
But
language of the church, Vinny. I thought you would know this.
no, I know it is the language of the church, but why Latin? Latin was a language spoken by barbarians, aka the Romans.
Okay, they weren't barbarians. They weren't good, but they were all right.
The
They were
I
better
Romans
than
mean,
were
most.
barbarians.
I am rage baiting right now. Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
Who,
Please,
We all
who are
we
you
all
rage
know. We
baiting?
all
aside
Are
know.
you
aside
rage
from the
baiting
massive
the?
conquests, the
Are you
paganism, and the
rage
sexual.
baiting the Romans in the audience? Who are you rage baiting?
I'm rage baiting the Catholics because never
You
mind.
are Catholic, Vinny.
Vinny, we're all
Exactly.
Catholics here. You've
You know
rage
what? Never
baited
mind.
yourself. It's
Yeah,
over.
it's over. Se acabou.
Say a Cabo. It's
Vinny,
over,
stop
guys.
inciting wrath. That's like a sin or something, right?
Yeah, true.
Right.
Well, guys, actually, here's the question: is rage baiting a sin?
I
It
think
depends.
honestly, aggravated rage baiting, yes. I think if you're genuinely rage baiting on Twitter or something, and it's not like a laugh with your friends for a couple lines, I think it is
Like what I
actually
did.
genuinely
Yeah,
sinful.
yeah. Well, like the Vinny thing was funny, but like, here's the thing: it's okay to rage bait for like 30 seconds or to a minute with your friends.
Like it's one thing to do something for giggles and laughs. It's another thing to like incite like actual rage and
Yeah.
Yeah.
violence.
Well, like if I tell Vinny he's short, like it's funny, you see. But like if
Because I
I
am.
say, but if I say like Vinny, you're a deplorable human being who
Yeah.
should be exiled from Brazil and sent to the
the
tribes
goo.
of Massachusetts. Yes, I said the tribes of Massachusetts. It's a new thing I'm gonna invent.
It's
But
the gulag
like,
of America.
No, the gulag is Reno, Nevada. Shout out
Oh,
to anybody watching from Reno, Nevada. You live in America's gulag.
okay.
Well,
by the
honest.
way, shout out to Nevada. I've been there in Fallout New Vegas, my favorite game of all time.
Thank you. Shout out Nevada for being the most nuked state in the country.
Most nuked, most gambled.
Yeah. Got a lot of stuff going for you guys out there.
Good job. Dryness.
Yeah, what exactly were we just talking about?
I have
We
no
were talking
idea.
about rage baiting being a
Rage
sin,
baiting.
and
Oh,
yeah.
that's the other thing I wanted to bring up that I actually feel pretty strongly about is I think meta irony is quite likely to be sinful.
Can you define meta irony for those of us in the audience, definitely, that don't know exactly what the term means?
So meta irony is so irony is saying something that is either untrue or you don't believe it in order to for comedic effect or for humor or for some other purpose. It's like sarcasm, you know. It's like if I
I
said,
know what irony is, Bryson, but what's
yes,
media?
but listen, it's for the example. You have to let me go, and then I will explain meta irony. But if I
Have
say,
patience,
you know,
boy.
I would love to, if I said I would love to live in Portland, Oregon, that would be ironic, right?
What's wrong with Portland, Oregon?
So
Everything.
things are wrong with Portland, Oregon. I don't want to live in Portland, Oregon. But this is besides the point. No, it is. It's not besides the
According
point.
to
Why did I
Grimm,
say that? No.
in Portland, there is a bunch of fairy tale thingies there. It's dangerous. I don't want to go there.
Vinny, I'm gonna lose my mind. I need to explain meta irony.
I'm sorry. Go
So
ahead.
meta irony is when you make the statement purposely ambiguous, uh, and the humor is derived from the person, the recipient of the information, not knowing whether or not your statement is true or what you actually believe. So a statement like that would be, for example, I really want to move to Charlotte, North Carolina. Now,
Charlotte's nice.
yeah, but is it?
Yes, it is. I've been there. It's nice.
I don't know if it is. No, but the point being that if you did not have enough context to know whether or not I had positive feelings towards Charlotte, North Carolina, and I actually wanted to move there, and I just kept saying something like this in a way that I kept it ambiguous whether I was being serious or not. That's meta irony. And the way that this gets employed a lot of the times now is you can say pretty provocative statements, and quote them in layers of meta irony. You can be meta ironic about it such that it's unclear to people who it's unclear if you actually believe this or not.
Like
And
for example, you can like say the most racist thing on earth, and then someone wants to hold you accountable for it. And you just say, "Hey, that was a joke, bro."
Just a prank, man. You know.
you can do a Schrodinger's douchebag sort of thing and hide behind, like, that's one option. And then the other option is you can also just play with that and be like, oh, I don't know, I may maybe I do feel like that, maybe I don't. And you can keep feeding into the meta irony, but you never actually have to settle into a you never have to collapse the wave function such that you're either ironic or not ironic.
So
And
essentially, you become a deceiver.
yeah, that's sort of the thing. And it concerns me a lot because I see a lot of people in online spaces really tap into meta irony. They use it all the time, and that's kind of what their humor is based on, is saying provocative things that they may or may not believe, but the humor comes from the fact that we're not sure actually if you believe that or not. And the fact that it's unclear is something that adds to the funniness. I think, now granted, to be fair, I think when employed properly, it is actually very funny objectively. It does get a chuckle out of me, but you can't live your life like that. You will be irony poisoned. You can't live in a superposition between being serious and not serious. It will gravely harm your soul, in my opinion.
All right. Yeah, I would say that often humor can be taken to such an extreme that it can become sinful. It's especially when it's done in a hateful way. Although some of the funniest jokes are exaggerated, but there's a certain point where you have to be prudential about it and not go over the
I don't know, Jude. I think meta ironic statements in general are a problem. I don't think you should. I think your irony should be obvious.
I'm talking about humor in general, Bryson, not about meta irony. I agree with you. I think meta
Okay, yes, yes, Jude.
I was not trying to be meta ironic there. I was just ambiguous in my language,
Oh, good,
unintentionally.
good. We're all sinners now, as if we
Yeah,
weren't
yeah.
before.
As
I
if
don't
I
think
haven't
that.
said this 5 times already in this podcast.
I don't
Mm.
think. I don't think what Jude said was a sin, though.
No, it wasn't.
You want to see some sins? All right, let me
No,
get
I
ready.
don't. No, 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 no. Stop right there.
All right, all right. Sorry, Vinny.
Yep. No, no sinning allowed on the podcast. Okay.
Totalen Sinnen Toten.
Yeah.
Alright. And anyways, back to the topic at hand. Any other Zoomer Catholic issues that you guys can think of that we should touch on? I know
I
you had a
think if you're lonely, you need to get unlonely. Now, that's easier said than done, but it will not do to have faith, like have a personal faith and then never connect with anyone about it and only like go to mass on Sundays. That this you will be blown away in the sandstorm of secularism, especially if your current friend group is just like all secular people. That's kind of an aside, but if you don't have good Catholic friends, get them. And of course, ideally, that would be in real life. You would want to go to your young adults group or some other parish event, or just talk to people after mass. I know that's like an extremely scary thing.
it's terrifying.
That's a horrific statement. That's probably the worst thing I've said the entire podcast.
To an antisocial person like me, that's not scary, but kind of what's the word for that? Like when something is annoying to do.
Mm,
Annoying,
I know.
Not just annoying, but like it's like a weight to do.
burdensome.
Yeah, it's burdensome sometimes to actually go ahead and socialize. So, another thing that I want to say is that everyone has a different social style and battery life, I guess. So, don't force yourself to be in a situation that you think it's not good for you. I've been there some like many
Now,
times actually.
Vinny, I have to say I mildly disagree here. I think that sometimes you need to get out of your comfort zone, even if it is
That's not about
not
comfort
physically
zone.
painful. Well, like I
I'm
get.
not talking
Are you
about
talking about? Are
comfort
you
zone.
talking about like people who are sinful, or are you talking about like
I'm
switch?
talking about people that you don't click with, because what many
Okay,
lonely people will do is that, hey, I don't have many friends, and I've been talking to this group, but we haven't really clicked, but I'm lonely, so I'm going to not be myself anymore just to not lose the friendship. Please don't do that. Like,
Yes,
Yeah.
of
absolutely
course.
don't do that. You're
Yeah,
going to be feeling miserable and you're going to be wasting your time.
yeah.
Mhm.
Be yourself and try. One thing I say is consolidate all of your different selves because as humans we have different personalities for different situations. Like we have the version of us like when we're around our parents, usually very well behaved, dutiful, whatever. You have like when you're around your friends, making the most heinous comments known to man. So I'm not saying that you should like swear in front of your parents or you should be a complete party pooper with your friends, but try to bridge the gaps a little more and don't keep yourself separate. Keep yourself as one defined person,
Yeah.
so that when people describe you, they'll all describe you in the same way and not in the way of like radically different.
All I'm saying is that even if you're Catholic, right, you have that in common, but you are still your own person and they are still their own persons and they have their own personal interests in the things they like. So try to connect with people that have like similar interests. Like I'm a massive nerd. I like nerdy things. And I have
You
some
really?
yeah, I'm a massive nerd.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Now you know. The more you know, the more intelligent you become. But you wouldn't know that, right, Jude?
Would I? You don't know, or do you?
No meta
Maybe I do.
irony. No meta irony.
And there's the rage bait. There we go. 2 cents in one.
But going back to the topic, essentially, like I'm a massive nerd, and I've been struggling to find friends, Catholic friends that were into the things I was, and even in the group I'm part of, there are like only a few people that I could personally connect with because they share the same nerdy interests as I have. And honestly, it's just really one person. But still, I like all of them, but I like this person more.
Yeah,
And
now I
that's
have to find out who
okay.
it is. Huh?
What?
Now I need to find out which one it is.
Yeah, you have to invite them
Ah,
to the server now.
Yeah.
I don't think she speaks English though.
Too bad.
Yeah.
Oh
Why?
boy.
I'm going to ask her actually.
Yeah, invite her. We'll all hang out. Anyways, just two pieces of practical advice. Number one, participate. If you're looking to find other people, participate. I'll give you an example. So for a few years after my first confession, I didn't go to confession all that often. Then I decided, you know what, I'm going to start going because sin's bad, God's good. So I started going to confession. And one time I was just in line, and it was a really long line. It took me about an hour to get through. But I had a really great conversation with this guy who was just kind of standing there, and we just struck up a conversation and talked about like every which topic, and it's very good to meet people like that. So like go do that. You know, maybe if you're more musically inclined, join a choir, go to Bible studies, do all this stuff which makes life much more rich. And then secondly, we bashed a lot on the internet today, but use the internet to your advantage. I'll give you an example for this. Me, Bryson, and Vinny have never met each other in real life. And yet, in case you couldn't tell, me and them are quite good friends. So obviously, be careful, but you can still build many meaningful relationships with a lot of great people on the
Even
internet.
so, because I live in
Just
the jungles of Amazonia.
yeah,
So true.
exactly. I'm never visiting Bryson. I want to get eaten by a snake or shot by a cartel fence here.
Bryson?
Jude was good friends with me until he used meta irony, meta ironically. That was
Yeah,
that was it.
we're gonna have to have a talk about this later, aren't we?
Yes.
You probably will. I won't be here.
I will. Okay, so yes, this is something. Um, as much as the internet has its own issues, if you're unable to uh make the real life commitments work, and I do mean unable to. I don't mean it's uncomfortable to go out of my way to meet people in real life. so I'm not going to do it. Do not do that. If you have an opportunity to do that, do it. Don't make excuses. But if you genuinely put in the effort, let's say you live in Nome, Alaska, and in Nome, Alaska, the closest young adults group is in Fairbanks. Like that would be something where it's time to join an internet group. But when you join an internet group, actually, take some time to figure out who's there and figure out if you're going to vibe with these people and if it's the right kind of crowd for you, that you want to hang out in. Do not join a group and then have one person say something nice about you and then imprint on the entire social group like a baby bird. That's a bad idea. You're going to be stuck with a group of people that you're going to have like massive drama with later because you weren't compatible with each other in the first place. It Just don't be stupid. That's all I'm saying, really.
That's some of the best
Yeah,
advice that anyone could ever give.
the only thing
Don't
I really want to say when it comes to real life groups that my group specifically, they party a lot, and I'm not a party guy. I don't like uh loud music and nothing of the sort, and we don't share that in common. Yet I consider as friends because, well, we have some things in common. We are Catholic. We like some music. We like some series. We like some anime, some manga. But as far as that go, that's it. And the thing is, you need to find a group that you share an actual interest with, and not force yourself to fit in. That's what I mean. You don't need to force yourself to fit in any group.
Not only you don't need to force yourself. If you force yourself, that's just going to be bad down the line. You're just going to make yourself miserable and maybe people miserable around you.
Yeah,
Yeah. Also, one thing on a completely different note that I want to talk
I
about
don't know why. It doesn't even matter
is
how.
goodness gracious.
I'm sorry.
Anyways, what I wanted to talk about is just a little bit of advice. Talk to God a lot. This should be kind of obvious, but one thing that I've noticed is that often prayer life can be kind of weird. It's like often it's like feelings and vibes and like things you get, and you have to like take something from scripture, take something from mass, put it together. But for all these issues, a lot of it can be solved and answers can be found if you just talk to God. Like Jesus is many things. He's our Lord, our Savior, our Redeemer, all that stuff. But he's also your friend. So don't be afraid to ask him for help and just talk to him. Like, don't be disrespectful. Um but talk to him like someone you trust and not just like the God of everything, even though he is. So I just wanted to point out, be keep it casual sometimes, keep it reverent other times, but have some time to just say, "Hey, man, um, this is how it's going. I could use some help with this. How's your day? Oh, wait, you kind of rule the whole universe. I guess your day is my day as well, and then it
Your
all
day is
spirals, and then
outside of time and
your
eternity.
sorry, your day is outside of time. That's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, adoration will be at 7 o'clock. The dress code is reverent casual.
reverent casual. What is reverent casual? Is
I
it is
fear
it is
going.
it
Honestly,
sweats in a veil?
for the record, I fear going to mess with you
Why? Why would you fear that?
because you are probably going to be very casual.
Me?
Yes,
Why would I be casual?
because you are a teen. Anyway,
Okay. I wear my khaki pants and my button
you go
down
with
war polo.
khakis to mass.
I'm gonna
Yes.
be real. I do too.
What's wrong with khaki?
Everything's wrong with khakis.
There's it's dress code where I go to school. It's fine.
Khakis are 80% of my pants. Also, my job just told me I can't wear khakis, so that's kind of a personal travesty that I'm
That's a
going
shame,
to
Bryson.
That's a shame. That case.
I'll be praying for you, man.
Thank you.
To be
You're
fair, I
welcome.
also like khakis, but I'm a bit on the larger side of the spectrum, so they don't really fit well on me.
There's many spectrums, aren't there?
The fat spectrum, Bryson.
The
The fat
fat
spectrum.
I understood that. Let us know in the comments what spectrums you are on. And then
Okay.
also how much on the spectrum you are. So on one end of the spectrum is you're on a lot of spectrums, and then the other end of the spectrum is that you're on few spectrums. But nobody is on no spectrums, I don't think. I don't think you could be not on any spectrums.
And with this weird train of thought, I think we should come to an end. Does anyone have any concluding thoughts?
Yeah,
Eat macaroni.
yeah. Be
Wow.
Catholic. Be Catholic. Don't be stupid.
Eat Catholic?
No,
Be Catholic,
Oh.
Do
Vinny.
not eat Catholics.
Unless you consider Jesus Catholic, eat him though.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yes, gnaw at his flesh.
Exactly. Yes. Bryson, any finishing thoughts?
No,
I haven't Vinny, but you just have one. But if you want to go again, Bryson, you can.
no, there are no finishing thoughts, Jude. That was my entire. That was
Vinny,
my finishing
just
thought.
speak, please. I need to get an aspirin.
Speak white. I already said what I had to.
Macaroni. Okay.
Yeah,
Fine.
Macaroni,
I
and
guess
cheese.
I'll hit.
I think you shouldn't eat mac and cheese if you're like serious.
never had
about
mac and cheese.
about Lenten Fridays. I don't think you should eat mac and cheese on Lenten Fridays. That's just
We are
what I
allowed to
feel.
have some things, Bryson. Some
Well, I
things.
understand.
Don't you
My
dare
point
take away my
though
mac and
is,
cheese.
like, if we want to sacrifice, if we truly want sacrifice, then we want self-denial. Mac and cheese is very indulgent. At least for
God
me.
gave us
I
mac and
derive-
cheese for a reason.
I derive a massive amount of pleasure from eating mac and cheese. I feel like it would be too much to have on Fridays of Lent. Not any Friday.
Guys, excuse me. I have never eaten a mac and cheese in my life.
What?
That's insane. I
Vinny,
guess maybe
no
it's
wonder
just
you're
not
so
a thing in
depressed.
Brazil.
It's not common.
Huh.
Okay.
I'll make you some when you come up here.
All right,
Yeah. Sure. When you.
But
Anyways,
on
subscribe.
Fridays-
Subscribe if you want to see Vinny eat mac and cheese.
wait. All right.
Vinny
But on
mukbang.
Fridays here in Brazil, we typically give up meat and eat
So do we.
fish.
So do we.
Yeah.
Except I hate fish, so I eat mac and cheese instead, like a normal
That's
person.
so true. 100 subscriber special, Vinny eating mac and cheese. Thank you,
Sure.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Allow me to indulge in the final little bit of this. I'd like to take a second to pray for you, audience. May God bless and keep you. May His face shine on you. May He be kind to you and give you peace. Lord, thank you for this interesting first episode, and I hope for much success and beauty and fun times in the future for all three of us, for this show, and for everyone watching.
And remember,
Anyways,
keep Deus voting it.
keep Deus voting it. And finally, total gooner death.
Total
Goodbye,
Gooner
everyone.
Death. Let's
Total
go.
Gooner
Yeah.
Death.
Yeah.
Total
See
good
you.
death.
We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
God bless everyone.
Bye-bye.
God bless.